Every human being has a basic instinct to help each other out. If a hiker gets lost in the mountains, people coordinate a search. If an earthquake levels the city, people all over the world send emergency supplies. This instinct is found in every culture, without exception.
Hi, welcome to What the Flick. I'm Christy, this is Matt, Alonzo, Ben. We are all here to talk about The Martian. Mars ain't the kind of place you raise your kids.
But it does need women.
And it needs people, besides Matt Damon, apparently. But he's self-sufficient. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so The Martian finds Matt Damon left behind in space again, and may or may not be rescued by Jessica Chastain again. But this is a completely different movie than Interstellar, actually. This is a really fun movie.
Or Saving Private Ryan.
Or Saving Private Ryan, exactly.
Mostly what
Saving Private Ryan in space. That just occurred to me.
It's an amazing performance.
I thought that it's Saving Private Ryan in space the minute 7. Like as soon as he was
That did not occur to me until just now.
I'm like,
anyway, so he is a astronaut named Mark Watney, who is a botanist, which comes in handy. He's going to learn how to survive to see if we can send another trip back to get him, because, you know, it's not like just driving across the ocean. It's an 8-month trip back and forth. Let's watch the trailer.
At around 4:30 a.m., our satellites detected a storm approaching the Ares 3 mission site on Mars. The storm had escalated to severe, and we had no choice but to abort the mission. But during the evacuation, astronaut Mark Watney was killed.
I'm entering this log for the record. This is Mark Watney, and I'm still alive. Obviously. I have no way to contact NASA or my crewmates, but even if I could, it would take 4 years for another manned mission to reach me, and I'm in a hab designed to last 31 days. So, in the face of overwhelming odds, I'm left with only one option. I'm gonna have to science the shit out of this. Okay, let's do the math. I gotta figure out how to grow 4 years worth of food here on a planet where nothing grows. But if I can't figure out a way to make contact with NASA, none of this matters anyway.
Houston, be advised. We've got a video message. It's directed to the whole crew. Play it.
Mein Gott. Mark Watney's still alive.
Woo! In your face, Neil Armstrong. It's space. It doesn't cooperate. I guarantee you that at some point, everything's gonna go south on you. And you're gonna say, this is it. This is how I end.
Is it possible that he's still alive?
This movie is so great. I love this so much. I love this on so many levels because it's so surprising. Like you mentioned Interstellar, it looks so much like Interstellar just based on the imagery and the cast and just the ideas of it, and it's so sciencey. He sciences the shit out of it.
Yes.
He really does. But it's so funny. My God, I laughed so many times, and you don't expect that you're going to, but it's so sharp and sly. We discussed the music walking out of it. A lot of the musical choices might seem kind of on the nose, but they're so knowingly on the nose that you can't help but laugh.
And they fit into character and plot choices.
I had the best time at this movie.
What I really enjoyed about this, just in the way that it unfolds, is this sort of series of problems that have to be solved. And then you solve them, you know? And it's been a while since we've had a movie that kind of makes you stop and say, you know, maybe if we teach kids science and math, that could be a good thing. Because I think so much of movies now is about superheroes, and superheroes are great, but you know, yeah, you can certainly aspire to certain aspects of, you know, being as brave as Batman or whatever, but you know you're never going to be like an Asgardian thunder god. But you could
speak for yourself.
Well, okay, maybe I'm setting my sights too low, but you could like actually become somebody who understands physics and botany and math, you know, and I'm not that person, sadly, but you know, it's nice to know that the young people watching this movie could actually see that science and learning and knowledge is actually kind of important and even sexy and not just suspicious. We live in this era where science has become suspicious and it's all about, you know, you can't, you know, if you're running for president, you can't actually say that you believe in the theory of evolution, you know, or in climate change or any of this crap. And so to see a movie that just kind of says, you know what? If you know science and math and you are smart about stuff, it might save your life.
Do you think people are going to go out now and make potatoes using their own feces?
Already done.
Right? And they're delicious, right?
Yeah. Well, I'll find out. They're not, you know, they're not grown yet.
They're still cooking.
I gotta, you know, I gave this movie too high a score. It's obviously good, but it wasn't funny.
Really?
I didn't. I thought no. I just thought it was. I thought it was like I thought there was a degree of George Bushian. I'm gonna say it as if it's a joke, but there's not really a punchline there. It was a little funny, but it wasn't. I did not think it was that funny, really, at any moment. And I'm bothered by the casting, all of whom are terrific, none of whom would be astronauts in space under any. Matt Damon would be the youngest astronaut ever, so I could buy that. But he was the oldest guy. That we don't send 28-year-olds into space. It takes 15 years. Jessica Chastain wouldn't be the commander of a mission. Those guys are 60 or in their 50s, and this body of Benetton ad of incredibly cool.
But you know what? We've never had voyages that go on this long. Maybe you have to send somebody younger because they're going to be spending all those months in space.
They were too young.
Welcome to the What the Flick science debate.
I was willing to.
Matt Damon's like 42.
It did trip me up.
Matt Damon's like 42 or 43.
And he would be the youngest.
This is what took you out of it?
Yeah, no, it took me out. Look, I liked it, but that said, like, I don't think you can have it. It's not just. I don't know the name of the guy who ended up who was the love interest of Kate Mara, sort of.
Sebastian Stan.
Right, but him, like Jessica Chastain, she could have been on it. She couldn't have been elevated to be the commander.
You are really getting tripped up.
I don't think
no.
I don't think I'm getting. I do not think I'm getting tripped up in it. I think because the rest of the movie was so good.
It stood out.
You can get past that.
Wow.
There's
also, get past it, but
it's also not just about Matt Damon and the other astronauts. Like there's an element of kind of global teamwork going on where you've got a team at NASA that's like, you know, Jeff Daniels and Sean Bean and Kristen Wiig of all people, who's great, and Chiwetel Ejiofor, who watches the show apparently. And then you've got the guys over at Jet Propulsion Laboratories, and then the Chinese get involved, and
that's where the young guys I bought at the guys
JPL,
at JPL.
Yeah. But you know, I was so excited about this story and interested to see how they were going to get out of each particular, you know, problem that pops up, and it just felt so optimistic and so this belief in the best parts of ourselves. This is the movie that Tomorrowland wanted to be.
This is the movie that Interstellar wanted to be.
Interstellar wanted to be a lot of things.
This is 1,000 times better than Interstellar. I really like this movie. I agree with you. You know, it is a series of problems. It's not like there's some big, huge character arc. That's okay here.
Yeah.
Because it's a series of disasters that have to be fixed. And they're all tense and they're all exciting, you know, to the point that, look, it's a Hollywood movie. If you really think about it, you probably know how it's going to go down. But boy,
you don't know how it's going to get there.
But you don't know how it's going to get there. And those last couple of scenes, like you and I were sitting close to each other in the theater, and we both were like,
I was too.
Like, this is an exciting movie. I think the cast does a good job. I like the writing. I think that the line that we see in the trailer, I'm going to science the shit out of this. That's one of the best lines in the movie in the last 5 or 6 years. Arguably one of the best lines of dialogue in a movie.
I would have taken it out. That's just I would have.
hater.
No, I feel like he has to entertain himself. He's like by himself. It's like Moon.
I found his entertaining himself awkward, kind of, in a movie that I obviously liked too, and I was tense at the end too, and I thought that without. I'm trying to make sure I don't give anything away. Like, you don't know who's gonna live or die. You don't. Because there is peril at every turn.
I felt this very much was a movie like, what if Chris Hadfield, the YouTube star of an astronaut, got stuck on Mars, right? And I think that there's an awareness of that because it's a guy who is knowingly playing to the cameras, right? And so that humor worked for me because the astronaut that gets left behind is recorded. It's a great device that they use so that, unlike in Castaway, where you've got Tom Hanks kind of losing his mind and talking to Wilson, this is a guy that, okay, it makes sense that he's talking
he'd be
to
logging
the cameras.
it, yes.
And
right.
so he's kind of playing for the cameras. And so the humor there, I bought and I liked, and I think it lightens the movie up. I think it's the secret weapon of this movie, because 2 hours of solving tense problem after tense problem would be a slog. And it lightens it.
We have not mentioned director Ridley Scott.
Ridley Scott, yeah, we should mention that real
This is the best thing he's done in quite a while, I think. And it's interesting to compare a movie like this to, say, Alien, where the idea of space exploration was so sort of mundane and industrial and, you know, just kind of grimy and gritty, you know, or not gritty, but, you know, just like a factory job, basically. And then he does Prometheus, where it's almost sort of crazily Baroque. And here it's more shiny and slick and scientific and, you know, but ergonomic, still, I guess, you know.
It's still very much like, be careful, space will kill you.
Exactly, but at the same time,
if you're smart about it,
at the same, you've got all these incredible tools, and you've got all these, you know, you've got your Thanksgiving meal, you know, set aside for you in the space station. But yeah, you could be fucked in any moment for a million different reasons, and you have to fix all those things.
I also want to point out that I think that since this may be the first good movie on Mars since the original Total Recall.
Okay.
Yeah, there's been a run of not good ones.
How much? This is set in contemporary times. It's just we have a better space program. Like we can go to Mars now, right? But nothing else is different. It's not like set
somebody just decided, fuck it, we're going to put those guys.
It's not
in
set in
space
2045.
No. Yeah, it's like if NASA had never stopped.
Right. If we just kept going.
Really fast. Go ahead.
But that said, I kept thinking, how much money is being spent? Like how much money is being spent?
You were distracted during this movie.
Yeah, you're
by
thinking about all the wrong things.
I don't think so.
You know what I'm surprised that you haven't brought up, and this is the one thing that made me, this is my cynical thought about the movie, is that putting the Chinese space program in the hero position makes this movie play really well at an international market.
That occurred to me the second that
that's cynical China. Too, although that part...
I didn't even think about that.
That occurred to me, China, because China always comes in like Transformers movies or whatever.
But in this case, I bought it. Like in that movie,
because it made sense.
Perfect sense.
And you would need help.
I'm not saying it doesn't fit.
And I feel like, and I mean, yes, that may be a corollary to it, and I'm sure it will help their opening in Asia. But I think at the same time, it goes with the movie's sort of general idea of like, if we put our heads together, we can do amazing things.
Yes, so you mentioned how shiny and slick it is, but it's also got like a tactile kind of mundane sense of the ordinary and the daily inside of the spaceship. I want to mention Darius Volsky shot it. It's beautiful. The Mars stuff, you know the Mars stuff, the landscapes of Mars are gorgeous, like at various times of the day and night. Anyway,
it had a lot of the things that I like in movies where the hero, in this case, either Matt Damon or Chiwetel Ejiofor, think of something, but they don't tell you about it, but you know they've thought of something. You know, like, and they're talking about something else, and they see something, and then they run somewhere and they grab a map. And they
Donald Glover has a great
Donald Glover has one. Ejiofor has one. Matt Damon has like 3.
Right. This is a lot of guys who are smart and good at their jobs, doing their jobs well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's that thing you like.
And it's
I totally. I just because it's the space program. I would have liked to see, look.
You want to see Ben Mankiewicz age guys go into space,
or Ben Mankiewicz aged women. Like that would have been a nice thing too. That a woman.
Yeah, but nobody casts those women in roles anymore. Come on.
Drew Goddard wrote this from the novel by Andy Weir, and this is one of the best times I've had at a movie.
Me too. This is top 10 worthy for me. I'm giving it a 9.5. I'm going big.
Yeah, I'm 9 totally.
Yeah, I give it an 8.9.
Ben.
What did I give it?
You gave it an you gave it an 8.6. But your discussion of it sounds
well.
I
I felt like somebody needed to break up the Martian party that you guys were having. I liked it. It's good. It's good, and the people who in it, despite the fact that that I think there's no way that Kate Mara should be in it because she's too young. And who's the other guy?
Sebastian Stan.
The Winter Soldier.
Those guys shouldn't be in it. But that said, they're really good. Yeah. And then everybody back, Jeff Daniels and Chiwetel Ejiofor and Kristen Wiig, those guys and Sean Bean, those guys are excellent. Everybody was excellent.
All right, so you're sticking with your number then. So our average is 7.4. It is
higher than that.
Wait,
that can't be right.
It's
a 9.
Right, it's in the 90s on the nanometer. It's certified fresh.
That sounds.
I'm a genius.
There ain't no planet like an angry red planet.
Bye. See ya.